Je suis inspirée par le parcours et l'histoire des personnes qui ont consacré leur vie à une cause juste. Je suis motivée par l'espoir que génère mon travail et l'espoir qu'il suscite chez les victimes. Je crois à la puissance de l'honnêteté, la sincérité et la bienveillance. Après une vingtaine d'années d'expérience, des déceptions certes, mais surtout de belles réussites et surtout de belles rencontres.
Okay, my name is Cyrille Rolande Bechon. I'm a human rights advocate working in Cameroon. I'm here as a shelter city guest in Utrecht. My organization is called, it's a French name, Nouveaux Droits de l'Homme, Cameroon, and the organization sees the creation works really on civil and political rights and on democracy and rule of law in Cameroon since the creation. The context in Cameroon is the shrinking of democratic and civic space. Actually, we just have a presidential election with a lot of contestation. As you know, we have a president who is very old now, and it is it's a system that is very close to youth and women participation. So yeah, we have been facing also another change of constitution, another crackdown after election. So the context is really related to democracy, to how do we keep the changes or the improvement we had before. We are really in the context where we are hoping not to lose everything we fight for before in a country. I mean, for democracy and human rights, because we are really facing a lot of backlash, as a civil society actor, as human rights defender, as mainly pro democracy activists. So the context is really a context of a closing space. It is also a context where bad changes are happening every day. And in this context, you can imagine that human rights activists as the most targeted, as the most also under harassment. So when you talk about human rights activists, you also talk about organization, local and non-governmental organization that also under big threat. Most of the organizations in Cameroon are now blacklisted by the government because they think that they are talking too much. So you can imagine that created a lot of difficulty for grassroots organization, for women's organization, for the human rights movement, globally, to to have space to work with community. So yeah, at the moment we are interested in the elimination of violence against women and girls because we think that working for democracy, we need to focus on women and girls, because since when they will be involved, we think that this will really boost and improve the community participation. That is what main issue here. The thing with women's rights is that it's not just about law, it's also about culture, about communities, about local leaders. So yeah, we keep having this conversation about equal access to basic needs, but also the protection of girls against rape and sexual violence. My work on rape and sexual violence, sexual harassment, elimination of violence on women and girls is really relevant for me and important, because when I see small girls and when I see my 2 daughters, I think for their future, I think that it is important that this we articulate on this situation every day. I have to deal with rape cases of girls dropping from school, from girls being pregnant very quickly. And when I see that, I'm really concerned about, yes, our own life as women, but concern for my daughters and all children, yeah. So when we make advocacy for reform, we need to base our advocacy on real facts. And that is why we use a monitoring and documenting approach. We also use research approach because we need to, to have real facts, proof of the violation, but we also need to show what is the context, what is the situation, fact about what we are talking about. It is a way to don't give the possibility to run away. When you're in a context where human rights is not a welcome topic, you need to show that and to prove what you are talking about. A lot of risk. Human rights defenders face a lot of risk in Cameroon since the adoption of the law on the repression of terrorism in 2014. These laws really give part to target human rights defenders and journalists and opponents to the regime. So yeah, we have a ban of meetings, we have judicial harassment, we have attacks as the one we faced in 2025. Our office was assaulted 2 times in 2 months in Cameroon. You can also have direct threats on your life, on your families. We also have, as human defender face, arbitrary arrest and detention, closing of organization. We also have, like many organizations now are blacklisted by the government about funding. A lot of issue, a lot of risk, as human rights activists in Cameroon. Yeah. When I go back home, the first thing I want to do is to change the office, the headquarters of the organization. This is a project we had was a decision since last year, different attack and assaulted. So I really hope to have this done. After that, we continue the same thing we used to, talking about democracy, talking about protection of civic and democratic space, speaking out about people in jail. We think that there are many people that have not to be there because we have youth people, 20, 22, 25, that was experiencing just their right to express themselves, so they don't have anything to do in jail. So it's important to keep this message up, to ask for their release. Yeah, and we will still continue to talk about women's and leadership of girls. We can't have development if we still don't have laws about rape, about sexual violence and sexual harassment in a country. It's not possible to think about democracy and development without that for women and girls. The first motivation is the feedback we have from communities. Another thing that really motivates me is also solidarity from normal people. I think have this solidarity just when you have an event or a situation, show that you are not alone in what we are doing. It's also something that really motivates me because we say that there is no big change. But with this feedback, we have the sense that something is happening in people's heart, in people's mind. For me, it's something great.